still voice acts and he's doing stuff for Sentai Filmworks. But for the second season, they translated the dialogue. The script is accurately, and it's pretty good. It was a different story too, and Vic Mignogna also had appeared in it using his regular voice, which I found pretty interesting because we had come so far, and he had become like a big name voice actor now, and pretty interesting. And then I also heard one of my favorite voice actors, Andy McCavin. Whatever happened to him? Does he still voice act? I haven't heard much about him, and that was that was kind of different from the usual role that I hear him in. I actually really like his voice, and pretty interesting. But and that one had a different storyline. That one had some pretty funny outtakes and had like this random girl who can't remember her name. Oh yeah. It was a big Funimation voice actress who was like Azuna and Negima, and I can't remember who else she was, but she's kind of bigger now, and I think this was like one of her big starring roles, and Cleo and like David Matranga and Spike Spencer came back to do their roles. Sort of some weird stuff about the anime in general, which kind of made it sort of hard to watch at times from a visual standpoint. Was they used the old style of animation, or like it looked like an old anime. You could tell that it looked like an old anime. However, there were occasional episodes, and I think really only one or two, where it looked like a new anime. It looked like it came out like in 2007 or so, and it was so weird. It had sort of a blur effect to it. Orphen's hair was a little more brown as opposed to being, sort of blackish or whatever. It actually looked pretty good. Looked pretty good, actually. And, I thought, oh, are they going to switch? Are they going to start, doing it this way? That's cool. Then, of course, it turned out that they weren't going to do it that way, and they kept, going back. It's like, why would they do that? Only problem is it sort of made the rest of the anime look a little weird. And, from a consistency standpoint, it does look very odd that they would throw that in. This wasn't a big problem, but, in terms of from what I remember from the manga that I read, and, they threw in, the little cat person dog thing that's, like, super powerful. They threw that in from the manga. They did throw in a second orphan, but it was, like, in the second season, and there were, like, just multiple orphans, and they were all weird. It was weird. Overall, the anime was pretty good. I recommend it in both English and Japanese. A little bit of voice acting trivia. Orphan's Japanese voice actor is Shotaro something. He was the voice actor for Mega Man, I think, X5 and 6. Which I think is kind of cool, because I actually recognize his voice. And Magic is voiced by Minami Omi, I think her name is. She does Merity in Tales of Eternia. Cleo, I don't know who does her voice, but And I don't think any other voice actors in particular are recognizable, or at least not that I know of. But yeah, I'd recommend this anime. The manga, let me explain something. The manga that I read was a 6-volume manga, which obviously, from my research, is not very long. It's actually not very long in general. Like, most manga is like 20-something volumes. And some manga that are fortunate enough to go on for a while are 40-something volumes. Well, the Orphen manga that I read was 6 volumes. I got volumes 1, and I read that one. Then I got 3 and 4, which I also read. Then I got 5, which I read, and then I had to order 6 online. I couldn't find number 2 for whatever reason. I think my favorite volume's either number 3 or number 4. I don't remember. Something about, what was going on. It was pretty interesting. But, I finally did get a hand on Volume 2, and I actually read that one a good while before I watched the anime. So that's how I kind of figured out the whole Childman and Ozzy thing. Because at the end of, Volume 6, Ozzy showed up. And it's like, whoa. Was she alive the entire time? Or did she find a new body while they were trying to save her or something? Then they showed like a weird little side story about how about like the beginning with Ozzy and Orphen when they're younger. And then I looked up on Wikipedia, and then I learned that apparently Orphen was a light novel. I'm thinking, oh, it was a book. And then I looked up the title because apparently it was in volumes. It was like 24 volumes. I think that's awfully long for a book series. Of course, I know that like the Odyssey was like 100 friggin' chapters or something like that. But that's like an old epic tale. You can probably find an abridged version or something. For an anime story, I felt that 24 volumes was pretty long. So I actually looked up the title, and it turns out that it was a manga. And it opened up with Magic, doing his stuff or something. So it led me to believe that, okay, we got screwed out of the Orphen manga. We didn't get the complete real manga. We got something else. And it still boggles my mind, why didn't they choose the fuller version? I mean, ATV Films did do the manga themselves. I don't really know who owns the rights to the manga anymore. If I ever get part of a manga company for whatever reason, I will definitely mention this to them. Maybe I'll point them into this video or something. But yeah, I've thought about reading it online, though I'm not a big fan of reading scanlations. I'd rather have the physical book in my hand. I don't care if it's in Japanese or English. I've seen the anime. I could, determine for myself based on the pictures whether or not it follows or not. That's kind of something you can do for yourself. But yeah, of course I've already talked about the game. I think that was like the only Orphen game out there. And I think this one actually came out before the anime got released or something. I don't know. But if you're going to get, the series, get the box set so you can get them all. It might be a little pricey. I don't know. It might be $50 or something. But the outtakes are hilarious. And they're not as funny as the Berserk outtakes, but man, these are some funny outtakes. Although having lots and lots of outtakes don't really say much good for the actors themselves. It shows that they were either bored or they weren't taking it seriously. But you know what? Outtakes are outtakes. And bottom line, it wasn't like they just kept doing outtakes and it's like, you know what? You fired. They actually got, the dubs done. They took it seriously. They were probably either just bored or just having fun. I can imagine that, standing or sitting in a booth, talking, reading dramatic lines is probably tiring. I never did mention my favorite character. That's really because I don't know. Orphen and Magic are both pretty cool. I like Orphen a little bit more, but, Magic's cool too. That's really all I have to say about this. So, yeah, this is over 15 minutes. I'm just going to talk for a little bit longer so I can kind of make it more than just a minute. I'll see if I can get it to hit like 18 minutes or something. It's animes, actually, I really, enjoyed it. Like I said, if you want to get it, you should get the Orphen, the whole set. I actually saw it at my local Fi. If you guys know where I live and you know where Town Center Mall or wherever it is, you should go there and go to the Fi because I actually saw 2 of the Orphen sets. I'm thinking, oh, that's cool. And plus, Sentai Filmworks now owns the rights to it, so if you're trying to find like an older release, I'm not sure if you will. I don't even think there is an older release. I don't even think they did a season set or anything. I think, they just kind of stopped after they did, their regular 3 or 5 volumes, and, yeah, it's at 7 minutes. I think that's enough. So, yeah, I like this anime. Go buy it. See you guys later.